Good day, guys. This is Everything New Under the Sun. I wanted to bring you a bit of a morning update after yesterday's ups and downs, which were quite exciting to watch. A wild ride for sure. This article is out of the Independent. A former advisor to Gordon Brown has actually warned that people should stock up on food. We're going to take a look at that in just a second here. I just want to go to CNBC for a quick second. The Dow futures here in the morning. The futures say the Dow is up 527 points, so we'll see if that holds. What's happening is it's a bounce because China has lowered interest rates and cut their reserve amount required by the banks. The amount of money that the banks are required to hold in reserve, they've actually lowered that, so the banks can actually, take out of their reserve, out of their savings, and go gamble with a little bit more money. And so that's buoying the markets there. If we go to Asia, so the Shanghai is still down 7.6% this morning. So even with that rate cut by China, the Shanghai index is still 7% down today. Day over day, cumulatively, I think they said they were down 37% in the stock market. Huge amounts. Let's see. So the American stock markets aren't open. Oil just went up a bit. It's about $39. Gold is going down because of that the Chinese interest rate cut there, and silver is down a bit too. It's neither here nor there. It's a wealth preservation sort of asset. It's not necessarily a money-making asset. So it'll be interesting to see what the markets do, and whether we'll go up and down, because there was a time yesterday when the markets were down more than 1,100 points. So we'll see if this goes up and down and see where we're at. But this is a bit of a bounce. Everybody's buying in at the low, and so it bounces it back up, and so we'll see where it comes out. I don't think we're ready yet for the full-out crash. So let's see what the former advisor of Gordon Brown said here. Damian McBride said a coming economic crisis would be worse than the 2008 recession, and I totally agree with him. A former advisor to Gordon Brown has urged people to stock up on canned goods and bottled water as stock markets around the world slide. McBride appeared to suggest that the stock market dip could lead to civil disorder or other situations where it would be unreasonable for someone to leave the house, which is what I've been saying and which everybody's been saying. I'll talk about it a bit in a sec. Advice on the looming crash. Number one, get hard cash in a safe place now. Don't assume banks and cash points will be open or bank cards will work. He tweeted. So if you look at the situation in Greece, it's a great example of what will occur here. Banks were on holidays for 3 weeks straight, where they could only pull out a maximum of about 60 euros a day, and that likely won't be quite enough to pay for what you need to pay for, because with inflation, with the banks shut, people will likely be asking for more money for whatever products they have, because everybody's going to be looking for those products. So that's inflation. So have cash in hand, enough cash to pay a mortgage payment, to pay one mortgage payment, and then a little bit was good advice that I heard somewhere. I forget where, but it made sense to me. Crash advice number two. Do you have enough bottled water, tinned goods, and other essentials at home to live a month indoors? So could you go for a month indoors, with no access to stores? That is a real good thing to think about, and a real good test of what you have in your storehouse, in your pantry there. Crash advice number three: agree a rally point with your loved ones in case transport or communication gets cut off. So if you work in the city, if you and your spouse work in the city at different places or something, and stock markets crash, there's going to be madness in the streets. The streets are going to be packed with cars. You don't know if you'll be able to get out. You don't know if the communication systems will be up. You don't know what will happen in that situation. If the stock markets crash and everybody's using their cell phones, that could jam up the cellular network and basically bring it to its knees and crash it. So you don't know if you'll have communications. You don't know if you'll have transportation. as people may be scrambling to then fill their cars up with gas, so they can run to the hills or whatever. McBride credited his former boss Gordon Brown with preventing a cataclysm by nationalizing the bank system during the 2008 crash. "We were close enough in 2008," he says. If the bank bailout hadn't worked," he said, "and what's coming is on 20 times that scale." So, I've said it, and a lot of other analysts have said it. What happened in 2008 is just a little example of what will happen now, except this is going to be way, way worse because we owe a lot more money. In 2008, the U.S. debt, just as an example, was about $8 trillion. Right now it stands at about 18 or 19 trillion, so it's doubled, and the consequences will be far, far worse than 2008. Financial markets are unstable and periodically suffer from crises, which can have devastating consequences for the wider economy. The Shanghai Composite Index, China's most important stock market, was down 8.45%, erasing this year's gains in a day's trading. And that's what I showed on CNBC there. It's down today just that much. The FTSE fell 4.5%. Some analysts have suggested that the stock market could slide. The slide could be the start of a new global financial crisis. And yes, that's what all the non-mainstream commentators are calling it. This is the beginning. We haven't seen anything yet. This is the pregame show. We're seeing some fireworks, some ups and downs. I said it would get rocky in August. As we get closer and closer, it's going to get more rocky and more rocky. Ups and downs, until a final crash in September. McBride's suggestions about stocking up on canned goods, setting rally points, and stocking up bottled water were ridiculed by some users on Twitter as over the top. However, McBride was a special advisor to Gordon Brown and head of communications and treasury for a period during the last Labour government. So this is a former government employee, advisor to Gordon Brown, who likely had inside information on what was happening in the markets, being so close to the Prime Minister of Britain, obviously. And so you would think he would know something, and he's likely a very smart man. And so I think, on this, and you've heard many other people say the same thing. So I think with this, this is just a confirmation that you should probably be doing something, and if you're not, then you need to start now, and it's almost too late to start doing something. Stores are still open, so yes, you can still go to your grocery store, but markets are getting crazy. You need to buckle up, and the most important thing to do is find Jesus Christ, know Him as your personal Lord and Savior, and He will pull you through any sort of hard time. And then on top of that, you need to be wise and a good steward of what the Lord has given you, and store up and stock up and have enough for a couple of weeks of bank shutdown, like happened in Greece. Like this is nothing out of a storybook. This happened in Greece 2 months ago, or whatever it was, a month ago, where all banks were shut down on bank holidays for 3 weeks straight. And this one is going to be far worse than that. You need to have enough food, not only for your family, but I think it would be good to store up enough for family, friends, neighbors as well. And then, if the situation occurs where you need to use that and you're helping your neighbors, then you can say, well, I knew this was coming because, and then you can share with them Bible prophecy in the Bible and share your faith, basically. And, no bones about it. This is a good opportunity for that. And, there's no excuses, no hiding that we shouldn't be ashamed of the gospel of Christ. If God is real, if the Bible is inerrant, if these things are actually occurring, if the choice is either heaven or hell, we should not be ashamed of this for sure. So yeah, it'll be a good example for neighbors and friends. But I would say you should take heed, and if you haven't started, get going on this. And worst case scenario, nothing happens. In December comes along, you have lots of food for the holidays, and you don't have to buy groceries for a couple of weeks. But I think it's prudent, smart, wise, a good steward of your resources that God has given you to do this sort of thing. So a big guy, a big figure telling you this, you need to step up, stand up, and pay attention here.